I don't sleep, cause sleep is the cousin of... Hey everyone, it's time for another MC Lars podcast. And this week, it's a little different than normal. We have a new video for my song 23, and I know if you've heard the record, you've heard this song. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the background of the song, making the video, and just so you have the full story. So, my good friend Patrick Wood lived on my floor with me freshman year, and our floor was like awesome because it was the bottom floor of an all freshman dorm at Unipro, which was part of Wilbur Hall at Stanford. Around that time, Radiohead, it was like 2002, so Radiohead was already pretty big, but Pat was always up on their new stuff, and he always had like cool Mad magazines and like funny things from childhood that he brought to college that I identified with. Like Pat was always like kind of an intellectually rebellious guy. He was from New England, and it was a very conservative place, and I think that kind of messed with his head because one of the things Pat's had to come to grips with was the fact that he was gay. And then he went to Berlin, and Berlin was very like friendly, and he met a lot of people, and he opened up, and he found himself, and he told me all these awesome stories about like the Berlin nightlife, and like, he really had a great time. I was living in Brooklyn in 2006. I got this call. My mom, she's like, something's happened to Pat. I learned that he had died, and I just couldn't believe it because I'd seen him at Stanford recently, and so in 2007 I was staying with Brendan Brown from Wheatus. I was staying at his house in Northport, Long Island, and our friend James Bourne from the UK bands Busted and Son of Dork and a whole bunch of other projects, he was staying there too, and I'm like, James, let's collaborate. He's like, all right, cool. So we just went in the studio. Brent was out like getting muffins or something. Basically, James is a killer songwriter, and he's the collaborator on this song, and he came up with these beautiful chords, and I was like, dude, that's beautiful. And I said, I had this idea for a song, so I started spitting some of the rhymes that I'd written down the hall. There's a kid that I know, he's kind of quirky, so I say hello. It was just this magic moment, where we were like, wow, this fits the vibe. And James was like, why don't you do a video where you're in a school or in a college and you're looking and he's not there? He's like, why don't you do that? And then Brendan came in, and we played the song, and Brendan's like, wow. And he's like, he sits down in the chair and starts doing Pro Tools, like cutting up the vocals, and he's like, wow, this is really good. And like, but the vibe for the rest of the day was really like reverential. Usually in the studio it gets kind of bouncy, and we have so many different like ideas, and it's crazy, but it really resonated. Amy Morello, who was from a band called Dirty Blonde on Universal, and Jarrett knows her because they were on the same label or are on the same label. But anyway, Jarrett knew this girl, and so we had the demo. When Olio and Crappy and I were figuring out what songs to put on This Gigantic Robot Kills, like I was kind of iffy on 23 because it was really personal, and like I didn't want to bring the energy of Robot Kills down because it's a really like upbeat album, you know. But Jarrett and Linus and everyone was like, you need to do this song, and like, let's get Amy to sing it. So basically this song had, I don't know, is that 10 people? Like a lot of people contributed to this song. And then of course Pat's voice is on the record. One of the things about Pat was that he was always really supportive. I was recording Radio Pet Fencing in our dorm room while Pat was like studying statistics and doing all this hard stuff because he like really worked hard in school, and I'd be like rapping like, make way for ducklings. And so one time I set up the mic, I'm like, yo Pat, let's try this out, can you record this with me? And it ended up being really funny. And then it was a hidden track on Radio Pet Fencing, and then we cut it up and put it in the bridge on 23. And I think that kind of gives it a realness. Jarrett said when he first heard that he cried, and you know, it's been a really good healing process. We've been working with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention in making this video. We've been promoting them and their causes, and I've been spreading the word when they've wanted promotion for specific campaigns, and in exchange they're going to help this video. They're going to put it on their website, and they're going to spread the word about it. And at the end of the video you're going to see their website, which is afsp.org, and their phone number. The goal of the AFSP is to raise awareness about this and encourage dialogue and awareness of mental illness, and specifically depression, and how suicide, they say, is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And I wish that I could have told Pat that, you know. On behalf of myself, Crappy Records, and Olio, and all the people who are involved in this song, we want to say thank you for checking out the upcoming video. Thank you for listening to the song, and thank you to everyone for sending pictures of your friends who have been affected by the same thing as my friend Pat. Together we can help get through this. I want as much goodness to come out of this as possible. All right. Peace, guys. Thanks.